Let's do this.
Hotshot. The enemy crew drops bounties when they die. You want to go get those. 3, 2, 1. Get the most bounties and you'll become the hotshot. It's like a roid rage situation.
Flash out!
Our crew's got our first hotshot. Help him live. Took out their hotshot. That's the stuff right there. Crew's got a new hotshot.
Field out.
Got that napalm you're requesting.
When things get tough, remember your training. Apply the fire to the bad guys. Our hotshot is raking in those bounties. They got a hotshot, and I'd sure hate it if something bad happened to them. Exploding parts for the bad guys, genius.
Cushion with dynamite. Flash out!
They got another hotshot. You know what to do. No friendly hotshot. You're the hotshot, pal. Bounties earn extra points for you. Don't die. the new hotshot. We're winning. They got a hotshot, and I sure hate it if something bad happened to them.
Nothing tastes like burning.
Deploying cross mine. Changing mag.
Help! Fire!
Take out that enemy hotshot, pal.
Swapping mag.
We got a hotshot. Keep them breathing. Right back. Look out. Get those bounties, buddy. That's your raison d'etre. They got a hotshot, and I'd sure hate it if something bad happened to them. A win for your crew is like a win for me too. Not to get poetical.
Is properly, I think, maybe the bringing together of everything in this course. One thing we'll bring together is the very good family of matrices that we just studied. Symmetric, positive, definite. Do you remember the story with those guys? Because they were symmetric, their eigenvectors were orthogonal, so I could produce an orthogonal matrix. And this is my usual one.
Then our Welcome to the Modern Application Development 2 screencast. In this screencast, we will explore JavaScript async functions and await keyword. For this, you will need a browser, Firefox, the console mode. Right. In the most basic form, JavaScript is synchronous, which means it will execute from top to bottom, line by line, in a blocking way, in a single thread, in which only one operation at any point runs. But that said, in web browser, we have certain functions and APIs that allows us to register functions, or they are run only in asynchronous mode. For example, there is set timeout, which you can run in asynchronous way. Almost all user interactions which are with respect to mouse or keyboard are asynchronous. They run on click, on mouse over, any of certain interaction. The engine doesn't wait for you. It only waits for the event. When the event happens, it just runs asynchronously. It doesn't wait the running code until then. And then arrival of data, or downloading of data, or accessing some data. We would have already heard the word AJAX, which is asynchronous JavaScript and XML, which is by definition asynchronous, which means when you request for the data, it happens asynchronously. It doesn't stop the main loop. This means, your code can do several things. For example, if it's doing some network activity, it can also do something locally, kind of, most efficiently using, and can speed up the things. In this session, we will learn how to make async functions and also how to use a keyword called await. Let's start with a function called hello, which looks like this. So it's just a function called say hello. It just returns a string called hello. Now let's call it, you can just say wish is equal to say hello, and you can just run it. Just before running it, I'll just add some comment before and after, so we know.
I'm in. Occupy. A battle to the death for control of roughly 80 square meters? 3,
It's running.
1, get the capture zone, follow it around, really stalk that thing. Capturing zone. New mag. 3 dispatched. Capture zone contested. have to get back on the horse even after your horse kills you several times in a row. Capture zone contested.
Go for the face!
Zone in jeopardy.
Grenade, out!
Capture zone relocating. Capturing zone. Capture zone contested. Capture zone at risk.
Throwing grenade!
Don't make them break.
Capture zone is changing location. Zone in jeopardy. Capture zone contested. Zone imperiled. Capture zone relocating.
Go for the face!
Drones dispatched. Capture zone contested. Capturing. Hostile echelon just gobbled up. Zone in jeopardy. Capture zone is changing location. Revenge. How heartwarming. Capturing. Capture zone contested. Zone imperiled. Capturing zone. Capture zone relocating. Capture zone at risk. Ever tried talking out your differences? Capture zone contested.
Go for the face!
Ultra is ready to go. Capturing zone. Capture zone is changing location. Zone imperiled. Capture zone contested. We're capturing.
Loading ammo.
Hostile echelon can see through walls now. Consider running rather than hiding. That was self-defense. Barrier up. Capture zone at risk. Capturing.
Go get some!
Capture zone relocated. Hostile echelon just gobbled up.
Fire!
Zone in peril. Capture zone contested. We're capturing.
Go get some!
Look who's on track to win. You. That's who. Capture zone is changing location. Zone in jeopardy.
Go for the face!
Capture zone contested. That's a win. Maybe when this is over, there'll be a knighthood in it for you.
And also will print, right? So let's see all of it. I'll just enable the timing so it prints the time of running, shows timestamps. Okay, now I can just run this, right? Now we can see it is running synchronously because before was called, hello was called, then after was called. Hello comes from here, logging the wish. So they're all running synchronously one by one, top to bottom. You can see that, right? Now we can easily convert this into a async, right? That can be done by just adding a keyword called async in front of the function, right? Now you can run this. Right here you can already see a difference. It doesn't actually return the response hello. It returns something called a promise, and then it continues. Right now, promise is a way of browser telling you that I'm going to return the actual value sometime later. You can see that here. If you go to MDN documents, you can write more about it. But promise is an object which can either be fulfilled at the later stage or can be rejected at the stage. When you actually get it, it will be still in the pending stage. Here we can see that it has already been fulfilled and the value is hello. But we'll see. So it can either be fulfilled or rejected. If it's fulfilled, we'll get actually some value which we can do. If it's rejected, we'll either get rejection or we can get an error. You can read more about promises on the Mozilla Developer web docs. I won't go there further, but this is how you get. Now, once you get a promise, you have to actually get data out of the promise. You can't just use wish directly. So what we do generally is something called denable or use then word keyword. Okay, we'll do let's say message is equal to wish. Let's not do that. Okay, let's do directly wish dot then. This will resolve the promise, which means it will wait till the promise changes the state from pending to fulfilled and then runs something. What does it run? It returns a value and then we can call a function on that value. This is an RO function or an anonymous function defined in a short form, and I'll just call console.log. I'm printing the v. V here is just this whatever the promise is returning as value, right? We can call anything. I can call message or anything, but I'm just calling v here, and then we are printing that, right? Now let's see how it goes. Now what are we doing? First we have a function defined, then we're calling before, then we are actually calling the function and printing the return, which is actually a
Take capture zone relocating. Capturing zone. Zone in jeopardy. Capture zone contested. Hostile echelon can see through walls now. Consider running rather than hiding. Capturing zone. Capture zone is changing location. Zone in peril. We're capturing. Zone in jeopardy. This is zone relocating.
Go for the face.
Zone imperiled.
Promise, right? This is a promise. Then, on success, we are actually extracting the value out of promise and trying to print it. You can see that it's in line number 8, and then we are printing after, right, in line number 9. Let's run this, right? Now you see a difference here, right? Even the promise got printed first, but after promise, we got this after printed. Hello came much later. Hello is actually printed by this line, but it came later, right? That's because it took some time to execute and it returned asynchronously, right? That's why the thing got exchanged. If I actually mask this line, then you can see that before, after, and hello, right? So the response got later, and then after printing the after, right? So here is where you can see that it is not running synchronously, it is running asynchronously. It's not going, it's not like we got called first and then we printed the hello and then we printed after. We just got called, which means it went, and it is running asynchronously. It's not going, it's not like we got called first and then we printed the hello and then we printed after. We just got called, which means it went into a separate thing to run by itself, but the main loop continued with console.log to print after. Thing to run by itself, but the main loop continued with console.log to print after. Then when the response was succeeded, then the promise was resolved, and then you got the printed response called hello. Right? This is how asynchronous JavaScript works, and this is how you usually use promise, that you use a keyword called, or a function called then, which you use to resolve. And then can have both fulfilled or success or failed. We call it fulfilled or success or failed. We call it either resolved or rejected. Now generally success or failed, we call it either resolved or rejected. Now general promise, that you use a keyword called, or a function called then, which you use to resolve. And then can have both fulfilled or success or failed. We call it either resolved or rejected. Now generally you don't do just directly do return.